This is the Loc Blocs train set, set 1092 from 1981. And as you can see on the box, it's motorized, and you'll see in a minute that it actually works. It has a kind of a gate that actually stops it, comes with the manual. It is not 100% complete. These two cars, this car and this car, are good and are complete. There's a few things missing. There's a couple of windows missing, the bell is missing, and on the people, you're gonna see that basically this is supposed to be an arm, and it's actually supposed to have little pieces on it, which I don't have, so the people are definitely missing. So I got this at a garage sale, and I didn't expect too much from it. I got in a lot with a couple of other things for 20 bucks, so probably about 5 or 6 bucks I got into this. When I first got it, it didn't work. It had some corrosion in the battery thing, but I fixed it up. Motor was frozen, but got that going surprisingly easy. And I thought, well, if this thing even moves, that would be wonderful. Maybe it won't get around the track, but I didn't expect too much. Certainly it will not pull all 3 cars. Okay, so it works in forward, certainly not in reverse. Certainly the stop and go gate doesn't work, right? So, well, change it to red. Change it to green, that's pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna put it on stop and see. Whoa. Well, certainly when I press go, it will not work. And it does. So this thing actually works fantastic, and I'm newly impressed. I'm showing you the directions here in case you're missing the manuals. You can always pause it. But again, I was very pleasantly surprised by getting this thing working, and I had a lot more fun with it than I ever thought that I would. So good job to Entex and good job to Loc Blocs. Just to give you a better sense of how this works. So when you throw the lever, that goes down or up. So when it goes up, what it does is it presses these things down. So watch if I'm going forward. So again, this being up, we'll push against these and turn it off. So super simple, but again, it's quite effective. So if you're trying to get to the battery case, you have to press these tabs. There's one on this side, and there's one on this side, and you have to press them both in to kind of release it. So make sure you don't just try to tug this thing off, you'll break it. So here's a better look at those tabs, one on each side. There's the 2 batteries. A couple of issues I had was there were corroded batteries. Fortunately, this piece was not corroded at all on this side. This one was corroded. I actually just used a metal file and scratched off most of the corrosion. So one of the issues was that the batteries had a little bit of play in here. So initially when I turned it on, nothing happened, lacking contact between the batteries and the 2 things. So what I did is I took a small piece of cardboard and I actually bent it so that it has a spring-like action. And I just inserted it here. And now when I put the batteries in, that fills up the space. It also kind of pushes against it a little bit more. Now we got that contact. So that was a relatively easy and cheap fix. 2 screws hold it in. When you pull it out, you're gonna get the motor on this piece, and this is gonna stay here, and you should have a spring here. To show what's going on inside with making it stop, here's these levers, and what you can see is clear, it breaks the connection. So not super surprisingly, when I first got this, the motor was not working. For a 40-year-old toy, that's not surprising. When the motor wasn't working, because I wasn't gonna easily be able to hook up the batteries and play with it, I just used a power source where I could set it for 3 volts. Here is the tip of that, and I took jumper cables and I ran it to here and here. And again, I wasn't concerned about the polarity because this thing goes in forward and reverse anyways. And again, it is going now. When I first did it, it didn't go, and I just kind of kept playing with it back and forward, back and forward. I did turn the wheels a little bit to kind of get the motor freed up. And it doesn't always work as quickly as it did, but in this case, it got going in, I'd say, less than a minute. So that was pretty good. When you go to put it back together, make sure you don't forget the spring and realize that this piece here goes through this tiny slot right there. So just be careful because you obviously don't want to go crazy and bend it. So just make sure you work it through that slot there. Quick look at how this works. Very simple. It just goes underneath and pushes it up. I like that the flag goes up and down. I think that's a nice touch. Quick look at how the track works. It is ridged to give some traction. If you think about it, obviously they have to be two different size pieces. So this is inside and this is outside, and the buttons help you figure it out, and they just kind of click in. Again, Loc Bloc is not as nearly as well known as Lego, but it definitely works. The track did not come apart. I've had no problems with that.